guys, welcome back to another episode of the Red Line Talk Show. Today we're honored to have a truly distinguished guest with us, someone whose work in the field of cardiology has not only saved countless lives, but also inspired communities locally and internationally. Joining us is Dr. Sulejman Mani Celaj, the Director of Cardiology at St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx, New York. Dr. Celaj is the renowned cardiologist who specializes in prevention, early intervention, and advanced cardiovascular treatments. Dr. Celaj, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Welcome,
Thank you for
Dr.
having
Celaj.
us. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you. So first, we always like to ask our guests to tell us a little bit about their background, kind of your story, where you're coming from, where you're born.
Your journey. What is your journey here to the
What
States?
does your journey look like in America?
I was born in Jakov.
Okay.
My father is originally from Montenegro, but he went to Jakov, what's now Montenegro. He went to Jakov to study.
Okay.
And because there were no schools in Albanian back then in his village, so he did not want to study in a different language. So he went there, stayed there, married my mom, and
Your mom was from Jakov as well?
yes, and were born there, finished high school, went through 18 years of my life, and after that, unfortunately, I had to leave. First, I went to serve mandatory military in former Yugoslavia, and I went to Romania.
Okay.
Went to Romania for 7 years, where I studied medicine. After that, I came to America, and been here ever since.
What brought you to America?
Well, it was a bad situation, political situation. There were wars in former Yugoslavia, and we knew that the war is coming to Kosovo. There was a lot of oppression, and you just couldn't live anymore there because our lives had no value, no meaning. Any Serbian policeman, officer, military, paramilitary would kill you without no repercussion, repercussion.
Yeah.
So they made it impossible for us to live there, and
You're constantly in fear.
absolutely. Had situation when the police came in front door and just provoking us, trying to get us to step out, and literally they would just shoot you, and that would be it. So in order to escape, our entire family, one at a time, whoever could, the way we could, we came here and we established in the Bronx initially, and later on in Westchester.
When you came to the Bronx, did you have already family here or friends, or were your family was the first people from
Well,
from
first,
the group?
my father escaped because he was involved in some organizations back home, so they were
He was
looking
targeted.
to arrest him and harass the family, then mom and the younger brother, the older brother, so one at a time. But when I came, I was the last one to arrive.
Oh, okay.
So
And how old
everybody
were
was
you at that time?
27, 28,
So,
27, yes,
so you finished your, medical degree in Romania,
correct.
and then you converted that to here, to United States. How did that process go?
Well,
Is that hard to do that, first of all? Because I know
it is very hard.
Yeah.
It is very hard, especially at that time when we had no informations. We didn't know what we had to
Yeah.
do. The idea was we'll come to America because we also had some relatives here for probably 3 months, 6 months until the situation is going to get better. And after that, we'll move back. We're basically thinking we're going like tourists for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then after we came here, we saw that nothing's getting better. The war started soon after, and we
This was
realized
in the late 90s at this time?
late 90s, yes. We realized that we're not going back. And then we started searching, me and my brother, who is also a doctor, what to do, how we're going to do things. And it wasn't easy. There were only a few Albanian doctors, 2 or 3 that we knew of.
Yeah. So what year is that? Walk me exactly.
97.
97. Yeah, there wasn't
Yep.
many.
Which
when
doctors were
I
there
came
at
in
that
97.
time, at 97?
There was Leta Gimleka. I heard of Dr. Edward Orucci.
Mhm.
It was Dr. Rifat Latifi. He was doing his fellowship at that time. So these were the only 3 doctors I knew of.
Right.
And obviously their experience was different. Everybody had their own different experiences, how they managed to do that. It wasn't honestly easy. I found some other doctors here trying to do their same thing as I did. I did not, one of them, which I'm very thankful, Dr. Sinanay Javad, he gave me all his books for free because he realized we
They're
just came
expensive
to
books.
America.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he gave me all his books for free. He had passed one of the United States medical licensing exams. And
Was it step one?
step one.
Yeah.
So he
I know
gave me
about
all
that.
his books.
He's learning about
I'm
this.
learning about the process.
Being married to a healthcare provider, he's learning a lot of stuff.
Well, no, my cousins are going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. They actually, both sisters want to be doctors, and they're in school in Romania as well. So trying to come to
Their
America.
alma mater, we went to same
they're
school.
following your
Same school.
footsteps.
We went to same school. It was so interesting when you actually told me about them, and ultimately ended up in Romania at our medical school, giving a lecture there for a conference.
It is a tough journey to convert a medical degree from Europe to America. You have to sometimes go further education and schooling. You have to learn everything again in English. You have to take your United States medical licensing exams, and then you have to find a residency. And a lot of times, back then, how did you find the residency? How did you go through that process?
Well, after I finished my exams, and I knew that what wasn't good in my CV was the research process. I did not have any research experience. Romania at that time was very poor. We had great clinical training, but no research. So I went and I did research. I applied actually 5 times. And on the 5th attempt, they accepted me to volunteer at Einstein Medical School. And I was fortunate to work with some world-class cardiologists. And we accomplished a lot in research projects that we started from zero. And we published in best cardiology journals in the world. So that opened my way into residency. Otherwise, I did not know anyone. I did not know even the process of applying, how that works. So because the internet was very limited, and most of applications are all by hand. You write on a piece of paper and you send it. So it was my research experience for 1 year that I did at Einstein that paved my way into internal medicine, then general cardiology and interventional cardiology fellowships.
What advice would you give aspiring medical professionals that are trying to make it in America, or even that are here now?
Well, do you encourage them or you discourage them? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
With that question first.
Well, medicine is a sacrifice.
Okay.
You have to if you're willing to make sacrifices, then go into it, and you have to love it, because it's a long journey. 7 years of medical school and 8 years of training was a lot. Yeah. And during training, honestly, you get paid minimal, and your lifestyle, it's not the best, or where other people see you thinking, oh, you're a doctor now, and you have a good lifestyle, but no, it's a sacrifice.
So that's interesting, though. Do you think that's worth it? If you think about it, you spend almost 15 years of your life just with schooling and practice before you can actually get settled in and make money and have a comfortable life. But even then, you're probably going to be in debt by the time. So
all depends what you want in life. If your goal is to make money, don't go into medicine.
Don't go into medical.
There are other jobs, other opportunities in life that you can make money. But if your goal is really to do something for people, then definitely I would encourage people to do it. But keep in mind the sacrifice part, because when your friends are going out and partying and clubbing, you're at night studying, preparing for exams, staying all night up, and it's not fun.
So it's not only self-sacrifice, but it's also your family sacrifices, not being able to be around you as well. And while you're doing the training, this is usually the time when you're trying to settle down, find a wife or a husband, maybe raise a family. How was your wife's experience throughout this?
Well, I was lucky enough to have met her early in life, and she learned. And she saw how I was in medical school when we met, and she was doing her law school. And she saw that it's really a sacrifice that I have to study, and I have to study a lot. So she got used to. Obviously, our children are a little bit younger than usual people from my age, and all that is another sacrifice.
Right.
And people, if you look across the board, people medical field, they also tend to have children late in life because it takes a lot, and you don't have really enough time to dedicate to your family, to your children. So unless you're really willing to make that sacrifice, probably you should not go into medical field.
So you coming from the Europe, right? You did your school in Romania. Is there a huge difference between what's being taught over there than what's being taught here, as far as the medical knowledge?
Well, at that time, I can tell you probably there was. And in Europe, Romania was, Eastern Europe was very closed. And when we were studying, let's say, for diseases that are rare, right? HIV was a new killer and nobody knew much about. We'd just mention it. There's this disease, but it's prevalent in Africa and America, and we didn't know much.
Yeah.
Now, there's
more
internet, more
yeah.
information,
Yeah.
so everybody knows about everything, and you just go and Google, and you can get enough information. At that time, I would say that basic knowledge was at the same level. Clinical experience, there were no MRIs, CAT scans. There were such advanced tools for Eastern Europe. So it wasn't easy for me to transition to say, okay, I'm going to order an MRI on this patient. I was thinking twice, oh my God, this is an expensive test. Can I really just do it like that? So it took some time for me to adjust to the system. People here, there are a lot of people without families, homeless people. They have needs. And when I was told by my senior resident first time, call social worker for this patient, I'm like, why? He told me he has no place to go. I'm like, he can go to his family. What do you mean he has no place? Because he has no family. I said, what do you mean he has no family, has nobody on this planet?
Especially coming from our area, everyone has family.
So it was a cultural shock also. But basic medicine, it was very well done. And even today, it's throughout Europe is
so
excellent.
It's more standardized now, you think, like the knowledge when it comes
to I'm pretty sure it is.
So it doesn't really matter where you do the schooling, really. It's just
no, not really.
Yeah.
Here in America, a lot of young kids, they only think about Ivy League schools and this and that. At the end of the day,
it's the same information.
It's what you do at school,
right?
Not what school you go at.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You can go to Harvard or you can go to a CUNY school, and you still could be the CUNY school graduate might be more successful than the Harvard school graduate.
Absolutely.
It depends on what you do.
Ivy
for
League
yourself.
schools, they open the doors for you, but they don't guarantee you success in life.
Correct. Right. So, you still have to do the hard work.
So walk us through the experience when you came here in the United States and now you became a doctor, and you chose cardiology, right? Is that your specialty?
Correct.
Do you like that specifically, or is it something that you fell into? Or?
I hadn't seen the cardiac interventions back in Romania.
Okay.
We learned about theory, same like we learned about Windows, right? Software. We learned the theory, but we hadn't seen a computer.
Right.
Right.
And when I first saw the first intervention, first cardiac catheterization, Montefiore, I'm like, wow, this is cool. That's what I want to do, because in a matter of seconds, you can change somebody's life. You can really, literally save somebody's life.
Really? So tell us a little bit more about the how exactly. How do you do it?
And as people come with heart attacks, and heart attacks carry significant mortality.
Yeah.
If you don't intervene early, then has also on top of mortality, morbidity, because your heart can get damaged permanently. So with people with weak heart, damaged hearts, then they don't live as long as people with normal hearts. So, I saw it, and I thought this is really something that fits my personality. And I developed skills. It takes a lot of skills, knowledge, matter of seconds to make decisions sometimes. And, it's working for me, and for my patients. Yeah. When I had an Albanian patient with heart attack, and cardiac enzyme blood test can show the degree of damage to the heart. So when they called me, it was about 7, 8 p.m. They called me in the morning from the floor. The interns and internal medicine doctor said, "But he has no heart damage. Can we send him home?" I said, "Is he feeling okay?" Yes. I said, "Okay, let me just take a look at him," and definitely he goes home after a heart attack, which could potentially be deadly. Next day he went home and had dinner with his family. What better can you do in life for somebody?
That's amazing. So not only you're a treating provider, a physician, but you're also the director of the cardiac cath and cardiology at St. Barnabas Hospital. How did you get into the leadership roles, and how does that take away from you delivering care to your patients?
Well, initially after I finished my training, I was hired by Montefiore Medical Center. I worked there until 2014. And then St. Barnabas offered me a position. And I liked the people there. I liked the leadership. And I saw the opportunity because it's in the middle of Albanian community in the Bronx. So it looked like the place was made for me. I also, that's also Italian community there.
Yeah.
So I speak a little bit Italian as well.
You speak 7 languages, actually.
It was really nice to be in that place, and I saw it as a good fit for myself. And I made that move. Administrative work, it's not always the best in medicine because you have to juggle with a lot of things from, making your colleagues, your people that work for you happy, making a good environment for all of them to work together, and same time making sure they're providing the excellent care. Because we're a small community hospital, right? Around us, there are tertiary centers, Columbia, Sinai, Montefiore, and only one thing keeps patients coming back to us, not because the facility is beautiful or it's over 150-year-old building, but it's the care that we provide for our patients. Our patients are not just numbers. We know them by name and family and where they live and what they do, and we
make it personal.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what keeps people coming back and liking to go to a smaller community hospital in a huge city like New York City where they have many options. And it's not easy sometimes, especially now I am also in charge of training fellows, help training in residents. We have medical school students. We're affiliated with CUNY and NYIT School of Medicine, which is a DO program. So we teach them, and it's a lot of fun because during the day you can be doing so many things. You go and talk to your administration about budgets, then you teach students
and then you're in the cath lab.
Then you're in the cath lab, some with heart attacks. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice diversity.
So, you're the heart doctor, right? So what are some of, I guess, some steps you can tell us for people to, individuals can prevent heart disease? What are some critical steps that they can do to do that?
Well, I can tell you about our Albanian-American community. A lot of Albanians do smoke. Yes. And they see that as I don't know what, but back in the 70s, I think Albanian women started to smoke as a sign of emancipation.
Yeah.
Albanian men, sign of manhood. Now you're a man.
Right.
And that all comes with a hefty price, which is life.
Yeah.
Because people die. And we have to start with basics.
Although you do hear, those people that say, "Oh, my grandfather smoked until he was 90 years old." What do you say to those?
You get those exceptions, but the majority.
I can tell them that if their grandparent did not smoke, probably they would live to 110.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you can destroy your genes, and you can destroy, future for your offsprings. And with Albanian community, that's what I would say. And the diet, westernized diet, Western diet is really very rich in calories. Foods that we eat here are honestly not the best. And quick foods, the fast foods, those kill people. So we have to know how to say no to food
So no fast food, no smoking.
Yeah, exercise. Exercise is the
okay.
key. And, we're friends, and you see on my postings, a lot of times I post what I do at the gym. And that has encouraged a lot of people, even though my own brother tells me, oh, that's too much. I don't want to know how much you're exercising. And I'm sure your friends don't want to know how much
I
you're
actually
exercising.
saw your post. I was like, oh man, I should get up.
So,
I should work out.
A lot of people see that as encouragement, and they joined, and they call me, and we go hiking, we go running together, and
Oh, very nice.
all starts from that. You have to be active.
You don't have to make it a chore. You can make it fun, exercise.
Absolutely. It's you go with friends at the gym, and you joke and you laugh and you exercise and you stay healthy. It's same. And actually, it's better than going to the bar and drink and smoke and eat junk food and destroy your body.
So when I started working in the clinical field, I'm also a physician assistant. There was like no Albanians, very, very little Albanians in our professions at that time. This was the early 2000s. And then now you literally can walk into a hospital and the greeter is Albanian, the nurse is Albanian, the physician assistant's Albanian, the doctor's Albanian, the cleaning person's Albanian, who brings you your food and its dietary is Albanian. Administrators are now Albanian. I just find it amazing of how much our group our community has grown in this industry. Do you have the same kind of experience in the area that you're working in as well?
Absolutely. When I started in Montefiore, there were a few people working in maintenance, and I was a doctor intern, and everybody was looking at me, wow, look at him, look at him. Now, everywhere you go at Barnabas, I think I was the first Albanian doctor as well. And now it's about 12 of us.
Doctors.
12 doctors?
Not even including nurses, physician assistants,
We have a nurse
and everybody in
practitioner,
the
we have
ancillary
a
staff.
PA that's Albanian, the director of blood bank is Albanian.
Wow.
We have people
Isn't that amazing?
everywhere. So it's really, really
It
good
opened
to
up the
see
doors.
how our community has embraced this profession, because, like I said, needs sacrifices, and people are willing to make sacrifices. And for me, as somebody who really like to see our people getting better and more of them in medical field, makes me so happy, because if it was only me in that hospital, probably I was an anomaly. This way, becoming something that's, wow, Albanians are good in medicine. Albanians love medicine. Albanians are willing to make sacrifices for medicine. And most of our residents that are there and some attendings, they're amazing.
I had this elderly man who came into the emergency department, and he just arrived from a small town in Albania, didn't speak a word of English, so scared, because most Albanians are just afraid to see doctors to begin with. And now he found himself in an emergency situation, and he was crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? And I'm like, I'm here to help you. I'm crying because everybody that greeted me was Albanian, speaking to me in my language. I thought I wasn't going to understand anybody. And he just couldn't stop because of happiness. I'm like, okay, you're having a heart attack right now. And it was a cardiac issue. And I'm like, you're crying because you're meeting Albanians. I'm like, don't worry, we'll take care of you.
It's amazing how patients, really how happy they get when they see somebody.
They get very happy.
Remember a patient, I was still in training, and this was at Einstein Hospital. Patient came with a heart attack. It was really an acute one, and we rushed him to cardiac catheterization laboratory to do the procedure and unclog his arteries. And my professor was next to me, and he did not understand anything. He's asking me, what do you speak? What do you speak? It's Albanian. He told me, talk to him. So when I started talking to him, he felt so relieved, and he was saying, in broken English, said, no, I don't care even if I die. And the professor was like, what's going on? Why did he say so?
The first question I would get was, are you married?
So he did not mind even if he died, because he met an Albanian doctor, and he thought it's in good hands.
Yeah. So let's stay in that topic for a little bit. So I know you are the co-founder of the Albanian-American Medical Society. This was an initiative, I think, started when? What year was this?
So started actually in late 90s. I went to Kaplan Preparation Center, to learn the system about how to take exams, and because it was totally new to me. And over there, I met a young doctor from Tirana, Dr. Lindita Choku.
Okay.
So we started talking. She was in the same boat, same thing. We didn't know much. We're struggling to learn the process, and we're just questioning ourselves, how come we don't have anybody to go to and ask what we have to do? And with that in mind, we were always thinking, because we ended up becoming friends and we were studying together and preparing the exams together, and that one day we will have this society open and we will do something to help young Albanian healthcare professionals that come to America to integrate into the system. So we lost connection, and all of a sudden I was at Westchester Medical Center with our heart team to harvest a heart for a transplant, and she was there. We started, oh my God, we hadn't seen each other for 5-6 years. And then we exchanged numbers and we said, okay, we're gonna meet, we're gonna talk, and we're gonna do that thing that we planned because we wanna help others. So in July, first week of July, I think July 8th was 2008, we went to Boston after having few meetings over Zoom or Skype, I don't remember, probably Skype, and that we were going to start this society. A lot of people joined on the Zoom meeting, but when it came to the day, it was only 4 of us. 2 doctors from Boston came. It was Dr. Choku, Dr. Nalbani, and from New York, myself and Dr. Javad Sinane. 4 of us, we went to Boston and had a meeting. We started this process. Soon after they had Dr. Nalbani and Sinanai, they did not have enough time to dedicate to society, so they were not as active after first couple of meetings. But later on, myself and Dr. Choku, we made this promise to ourselves that we're going to have it, and really became a beautiful thing until a few years later when things start falling apart. A lot of, I think it was a matter of a lot of personal jealousy from back home that people brought to United States, and a lot of people had different ideas. But it's like a soccer team. You don't join a soccer team to make it into a basketball team. You join a soccer team to make it a better soccer team.
So ultimately the coach is to blame, no? Isn't that the coach's fault?
No, sometimes players that want to join, they didn't join with the right attitude. And now it's still active society. The mission and all that have, I think, to a certain degree, deviated, but they're active. They're having a lot of journal clubs. They're learning from each other, which is a good thing. But the mission was always first mission was to help integrate Albanian-American doctors in America, which I do it every day. So for me, it's not that I'm not doing my part. And the second was to see what we can do to help our countries back home, because we know Albanians are in different countries, and it's same pool of people, but different borders. So how are we going to help? What are we going to do? That was the second mission of society. And we had taken trips in the past. I've done personal trips and trying to help and do my best in the field. But we need to come together and continue to grow as society and see how else we can help, because I've seen other organizations. I was fortunate enough to be accepted with a group of Coptic Orthodox Egyptian doctors from here, that from the United States we went to Ethiopia on a mission.
Yes.
It was very fulfilling emotionally, professionally. We did some amazing things. We brought them a lot of donations, which they appreciated. Actually, I sent some donation last Saturday through my friend, colleague, doctor from Ethiopia as well. So we have to organize and do more, because we can do more.
Yeah, so
I would love to see the Albanian-American Medical Society
do more for the Albanian
to do
healthcare
that.
system, no? I think we need help in that department as well.
We do. I've been there, I go there, I get calls all the time from patients, from colleagues, we talk. The problem is people ask me, how do Albanians become successful when they go abroad, when they go other places? I tell them it's simple. We follow a system.
Yeah, we follow the rules.
Follow the rules and the system, whatever it is. Even if
Right.
it's in a healthcare, if it's in a construction business or restaurant business, we just follow a rule, a system that's in place. And once you follow and you work hard, success is imminent. So same thing in Albania and Kosovo. Macedonia probably is a little bit better than the other two. But you have to create systems that work for everyone.
Locally within the government, you mean? And
Absolutely.
spread out,
Healthcare ministry has to do things, and they have to...
set standards, set
Absolutely. They have to
guidelines.
follow guidelines. They have to report their numbers. People have to know who's doing well, who's a good doctor, who's a bad doctor, whose mortalities are high in different surgeries. That has to be public. And people that collect those data should be neutral people, and they should be people that are not corruptible.
Right.
So
because it's ultimately it's going to become one of them needing those healthcare services, and
exactly.
there's no system in place.
So one of the biggest, I guess, concern or misconception from Albania, right, is that they don't trust the system and they don't trust the doctors because the system is it's so corrupted that they have no faith in the doctors that they're going to, right? So they always look to go outside of Albania to get treated. How do you change that perception and that stigma?
Well, stigma it's easy to change. You just do the best for the patient. I told you earlier, you don't go into this business, into this profession to become rich.
Yeah.
And then now with social media, seeing a plastic surgeon somewhere in California doing well and having lavish lifestyle, they think the same people should have in Albania.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. A cardiologist that goes through so much training, and we spend so much money to go through medical school and all that. It's normal, and standard of living is different in America than, let's say, Switzerland, right? Or Germany, or Kosovo for that matter. So you cannot compare the salaries. You cannot compare the reimbursement. You cannot compare how people are going to have the lifestyle. So people have to realize, I'm into this business, into this profession because I love it.
Mm-hmm. Doing it for the heart.
Exactly. Before you go into this, what are the salaries. Yeah. And then after are the same, or they're getting better. I know they're getting better than what they got 5 years ago, 7 years ago. So system is getting better. The countries are poor. Kosovo is the poorest country in Europe. Albania is just next to.
Second to last, yeah.
So what can you ask from a country that's poor? You just give to a country and you work hard, and patients will trust you.
Right.
Once they see you sweating and you're doing the best, you think there were no patient that died on my hands. But their families, when they saw me, how hard I tried to save those people, they were very thankful.
Yeah.
And the same thing has to happen over there. They have to see the doctor really doing their best. And I'm not saying they are not, but there's room for improvement for everyone, including for myself. So that's how you improve the system.
And as far as technology, would you say they're up to par with having the right tools over there, or do they need help in that department?
I've seen some things that they have. I've seen in Pristina, for example, their cardiac cath. It's pretty basic, but I haven't seen doctors in protest saying that, hey, we don't have the tools to save lives in front of the government building.
Maybe they don't know about it, or is it just
of course they know.
They know,
but they get used to working with minimal, and they don't think that they can make a change. Of course they can make a change. They have to raise their voices. They have to be on TV. They have to on media saying, we don't have this and this and this, and we call upon the government to provide this and this so we can save lives. So our job is easier to help others.
Right.
Because you never know when a president or vice president or somebody is going to have that heart attack. There's no time to transfer them to anywhere else.
Right.
It's going to have to be done there.
That's why you need local.
That's why you need a system that everybody's going to be treated the same. Because
it doesn't matter if you're VIP or not.
Well, I have a story about VIP. A patient of mine showed up with somebody very high up in hospital holding hands.
Yeah.
for procedure. And they said, the person in charge of the hospital said, oh, this is my friend from childhood, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, fine. And I turned towards the patient, just because you know this person, I will not mistreat you. I will not discriminate against you. I will give you same amount of numbing medicine. I will do absolutely the same.
Right.
And if I don't do that, you should fire me.
Right.
So there are no VIPs
There's
in
none.
medicine.
Exactly.
Everyone's the
You
same.
know, everybody's the same. And you do the best for everyone. And that's when patients appreciate. And that particular case, the person from the hospital who was friends with patient said, where can I stay? Where should I watch? Said, you go in a family waiting area like everybody else.
Good.
And once I'm done, I will call you. And only if patient gives me permission, I will share the details with you. He just looked at me and said, I'm going to my office. Call me later. Okay, call me when you're done. So that's how I work. That's how I like to do things. You know, treat everybody the same with respect and the best you can. We're humans. We make mistakes. You know, we're not perfect machines.
Yeah, so that story right there, you know, being able to play that totally different, right? Because I feel like that's where who you know makes a difference over there, right? That's how they get things done. If you know somebody or you're going through somebody, if you were a VIP, then they actually perform the right procedure in that case. I think that's what needs to change over there back home. And it starts with the professionals, right? They have to keep that professional, you know, lifestyle and work ethics to say, hey, we're going to treat everyone the same. Doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, or VIP or whatever it is. But just going back to the medical society here, do you think that maybe it's something for this society to contribute in other ways to Albania, whether it's education, tools, teaching the latest innovation in medicine, anything that they can contribute towards that, not only for the community here, but also back home?
Absolutely. I think there's room and there's enough of us now in the United States that we can help. We can do more. The only thing we have to do now is get together and put our minds together and say, what is the need? And what are the needs? Honestly, we don't know as well as the people on the ground.
Yeah.
And they can tell us the need is to do this, the need is to do that. I remember 2022, we went with our GIVE Foundation to teach kids to do CPR in Pristina and Kosovo.
Okay.
So we taught over 400 kids in 4 days to do CPR. We brought our mannequins, we brought a lot of donations for them, and they gave it to Ministry of Health and Defense. But it was a handful of us from here, from London, from Italy, that we went there. But most of the work was done by locals, local doctors, our friends, medical school students. Then we just partnered with them. But they usually need somebody to lead, because for some reason they don't believe in on themselves. They don't believe that they can do it. And they told me, are you going to come next year to do this again? I said, no. Now you know how we did it.
Just
use the
continue.
same people, do the same
Right,
process.
you just got to repeat it.
And repeat over and over and try to do it. And
Did they repeat it the following year?
no, not really. Not really. So that's what sometimes we need to take charge. And because I think the system in America teaches us to believe in ourselves and saying that
And
nothing is impossible. If somebody went to moon, I can do it too. I just need to find a way and work hard for it and prepare myself, and I will go. It's the same thing we have to teach them also on the ground. And I feel so offended when they say, oh, we Albanians, we cannot do this. Why? Am I French?
Yeah, we're Albanian.
Yeah, we're Albanians. So if I can do it, why you cannot do it? Everybody can do it. You just have to work for it and find a way. And, you have to put the effort in.
You were also, so you received multiple awards. One of them was you were awarded the Knight of Skanderbeg from the president of Albania. How was that? And which president did award you this?
It was President Meta at that time.
Yes.
As a kid who grew up in Jakov, right, in outskirts of Jakov, next to Chabrat is a hill that we're playing with mud and bow and arrows
Yeah.
and making our
Yeah.
own toys. You never think that one day you'll end up at presidential palace receiving an award, or that I will work hard so I can get that award.
Right.
You just go and you do the best in life and show love and respect for your country and your own people. And somebody saw it. Somebody nominated me, and there were a few people that nominated me to the president, and it was really amazing feeling, because it actually happened in a year of COVID, and there were limited guests that were allowed, but I made sure my closest family members, two of each of them, like Halas, Tezes, they're all there. And it was amazing feeling for me and for them, and my father and my daughter that was there, to see that if you work hard enough and you do things for your own country, your own nation, somebody will appreciate that.
Very nice.
And I think it's a good example for my daughter, who was born here in New York and raised in New York. Now she's at Penn State. That you have to always give back. Even though I finished only high school in Kosovo, I always think that I owe it to my country to do more. And when I say to my country, I don't mean only Kosovo, but everywhere, because I'm a little bit strange. Our family, my father from Montenegro, mom from Kosovo, but my Aja is in Albania. He was in Albania. His kids, a lot of family in Albania. So we are in 3 countries, basically the same family that we live in. It's interesting every time we go. And when kids were younger, they would not understand, oh, we're going to Albania, we have cousins there, but we have to Kosovo, but we have a house in Montenegro. So for me, when I say our country, I mean all our territories. Yes. So
is that the most memorable award you feel proud of, or you have? I know you also received the Physician Award in 2024.
Well, I
received
most, few also from U.S. Congress, from Governor of New York State, from Bronx Borough President, and there are a lot of them. Obviously, the most meaningful for me was the one given by President of Albania.
Of course.
But also having received my first Best Teachers Award in 2007, 2008 from Einstein Medical School was very, very important.
That kind of motivated you to keep going and
yes,
make sure you keep educating.
Continue to teach and to share knowledge and experience with younger generations. And later on, I've received a couple of more teachers award from Einstein, which was very nice and something to remember. And I think it's just, I see it not only accomplished as an accomplished doctor and a teacher, but also as an Albanian that wants to do better for its own community. And it's not that other communities don't matter, right?
Right.
But I remember when Bill Clinton's speech, when he won presidency first time, and it's not to advertise Bill Clinton or any political party, but I loved the fact when he said that we have to build the country, and we start with families. A strong family, it's a backbone of our society, because families create communities. And America is based on multiple communities and makes this great nation. So I think we owe it to the country by building our strong family and strong communities. And we build a strong country here in America as well. So that's the idea of community, not that, my patients from Africa or from Asia don't matter, and I don't love them and I don't treat them the same.
You travel a lot to Kosovo, Albania, not only for business, but also for pleasure. What's your favorite thing when you go back home? Like, why do you go so often?
Again, I left when I was 18, right?
Right.
So that's a long time ago. Today I'm 55. And I feel that the time stops, and every time I go back, I continue life there. And it's very important, very emotional for me, as you can see even now. going back, seeing family, seeing land, seeing culture, heritage.
And knowing how you
It's-
left it at 18 versus now, it wasn't free back then. Now
Nothing.
it's a free Kosovo.
No,
Do you-
no,
With
I couldn't
opportunity
even
and-
dream
Right.
at that time that we will have a free country or independent country, because that's how ruthless was that communist regime and the oppression by Serbian.
Were you
Serbian
living in
regime.
fear back then and now?
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
you're
Do you see yourself going back and living there for good and retiring, or is it?
Oh, it's a great question. You know, I think every day about that.
Yeah.
So do we actually.
And,
we'll meet you
We're
there.
contemplating.
People don't realize the good parts of our lands and our culture.
They
and
don't realize
society.
what they have.
They don't realize what they have.
That's true.
And they ask me, how come you from abroad, you always come back and say, because when we were here, we couldn't appreciate it probably.
Exactly.
So I often think about and how hard it would be or how easy. You know, my kids are still little. My youngest one is going to be in December 16. So once he's on his own, I see myself going back.
I'll meet you there.
And I would love to see you guys
Do you want to
there.
contribute in the medical field and set up something there for, whether it is educational, whether it is clinical, whatever? I feel like a person with your expertise and education and experience should be able to contribute
Honestly,
on an individual level.
I enjoy being there every time, and I'm always sad when I come back. I would love to go and do medical part just for free.
Right.
Just to give my everything to them for free, and hopefully somebody will see it. I know people with bad mouth. People will talk. Yes, he made his money, made his life. Nobody gave me anything for free, by the way. But I would love to go there and do it for free and show to people respect that patients deserve, how we do it here, because here sort of you're mandated, right? If it's not in you, patient can sue you,
Yeah.
right? But if you do it from your heart, it's easier, and then they don't sue you. And you don't even have to think about, oh, is he going to sue me because what I said? No, you just say the right things and respect everybody as if they're members of a family, good part of the family,
Yes.
right? And you're fine. So, it's that's what I would like to go and show to young generations.
I respect that.
I had one Albanian student once, and at the end of the day in clinic, said, I want to be a doctor like you. Said, no, you should be better. Said,
Right.
why just like me? You could be better. You're
Better
young.
than,
There are
yeah.
more opportunities to learn.
resources.
Said, no, you don't understand. Every patient that walked into this clinic, regardless of their background, they all hugged you. So I want to be like you. I want people to love me, to hug me, and know that, trust me, basically.
Yeah. Trust.
That can't be taught. That's just natural.
Yeah. Any advice for young people trying to make into the medical field? Also, any tips you want to give to people out there in regards to their health, what they can do?
What are your last words?
Yeah.
Well,
today?
Give us some wisdom before we let you go.
We want to hear.
health is so important. You cannot aspire to be anything in life if you're sick,
That's true.
right? Mental health comes from physical health. If you're physically healthy, your mind is going to be healthy, and order in your mind. I went to Romania, and as a student, first time visited one of our Albanian students, right? It was on the wall written something in Romanian which I couldn't read or understand. So I asked somebody, what does this mean? He read it in Romanian. Obviously didn't make sense to me. And he said, it says, as much order on your working table, that much order in your mind.
Mm.
So order your working table, order your life, and then your mind will be in order and you can succeed in life. And you like I said, you have to make sacrifices, you have to try hard. And if it's your passion, don't stop. There are obstacles. The rate of admission to medical school in America is very low because it's such a big competition. I heard about 2% only get admitted. So 98% of people don't get into medical school. But don't get discouraged. You
There's
might
other
be one of
areas.
those
Yeah.
2%. And
Yeah.
you will get into it, but you just have to work hard.
Right.
Well, Dr. Celaj, it was a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you for being here. We enjoyed the conversation. We'll hope to see you again with some more news and projects that you're working on in the future. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you
Celaj.
for having me. It was really a pleasure to share some of my life experience with you and your viewers. I hope they find the good parts and the bad parts and stay away from bad parts and follow the good parts.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.